Alright, here are our first impressions for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. This game has just released and Choco and I, we are so excited to talk about it. What is up, 5-9 gamers? It is Gil right here, and with me we have Choco here today. Say hello, mate.
Hello.
And we are here to talk about Master Duel, our first impressions, what we think of the game so far, the pack opening, the gameplay itself, the animations, the quality. Do we think it has a future? Why was it so hyped? We're going to talk all about that. But Choco, how are you feeling about the game so far, and why do you think it was hyped up so much?
I like it a lot. I think a lot of the hype came from it being a kind of true Yu-Gi-Oh experience. Duel Links was okay. I didn't really care for it because it was a like condensed version of Yu-Gi-Oh. I prefer the original game, the TCG that I played for many years. And this is pretty much just an online TCG, which a lot of companies that make TCGs like Pokemon and Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh have tried, but this is probably one of the more natural and best feeling ones I've played. So it definitely lived up to the hype for me personally.
No, I have to agree with you on that one. I feel like it definitely gets that modern feeling. It feels like I'm playing a modern game. And honestly, I have to agree with you on that fact about Duel Links. Duel Links, while it was a great kind of holdover, especially for a mobile format, if you're on the go and stuff, that speed duel format or quick duel, I'm not sure exactly what the format exactly is called. That is used in Duel Links. I think it's speed duels. It's not bad. It's great for players on the go, but as somebody who's usually like going to be playing a card game at home or something like that, right? It's amazing that they finally listened to the player base and actually put in a full-fledged TCG on your console, PC, and mobile devices. Now, of course, for those who are wondering, well, mobile isn't even out. What are you guys talking about? Because I know a lot of people are questioning it. It is confirmed for Android/iOS. It's just that for some reason, I assume due to either issues from the Apple Store getting verification or possibly quality issues or whatever it may be, optimization issues, they've decided to postpone the release of the Android/iOS version of the game to a later date. We still don't know when. They've just said coming soon. They seem to be also taking a lot of inspiration from the real life ban lists and stuff, right, Choco? What do you think about that? Do you think this is going to be something that will be on that level? I know Konami's been pushing it, but do you think that people will shift to this version of the game so that they can possibly take part in online competitions and such?
I think eventually they'll have to add 2 online modes, one casual, one rank. We can't have casual, but it's like weird group or host, whatever. You have to join a lobby.
Yeah,
basically.
dual rooms. Yeah, it's a room.
Ideally, just casual duel, and then ranked with like modern ban lists. Like if you were to go to a real, tournament right now, there would be a ban list. Keep the same ban list, digital and physical, so you can feel like you're actually competing, in like a proper tournament format, or maybe get rid of the ban list in ranked, with some exceptions, like your unlimited one Monster Reborn type thing. Then they have a tournament mode which comes around during official tournaments, so you can do an online version and win, digital card packs or, Amazon gift cards, stuff like that. Like not a ton of high-end rewards like, 10,000 cash prize type thing, but I don't know, just something alongside real tournaments, because the ban list for an online game is good, but it can be weird. Can also kill the hype for a lot of people as well.
Agreed. Now, you mentioned obviously ranked mode, that we already have a ranked mode. We have public lobbies or duel rooms, even as they're called in the game. We also have 2 other modes, one being event duels, which we still don't know. It's locked off. I assume personally that's where we're gonna either get like events kind of like how we have in other gacha games and stuff, where it's like special events where you can get like a special card and you have to just go through the story or something. Or alternatively, what I think it is that that's where we're gonna get some of the more fun play rules and play sets, possibly, right? We could get some stupid rules in some random ban lists as well in that mode effectively. What do you think, Choco? What do you think that event duel mode that's locked off right now will be?
I'm thinking it could probably be something like Battle City. Like if they were to do like a digital version, Battle City. It's been a while actually since I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! I never actually got far in Yu-Gi-Oh! I got, I think, to Battle City and then I stopped. I watched DX, I think. Or I watched GX. Zexal. I watched the first. I watched more of Zexal than original Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not ashamed to admit that.
Oh my!
But no, Battle City is a thing, and I think, isn't that a thing they could adapt into it? Because like a giant kind of like tournament with like a lot of people ranking and to become king of games. I think
Yep.
is what it is. So maybe that.
They could do that. Yeah, they could do that. I mean, they could do that because the thing is, right now, I mean, I expect them to take some stuff from Duel Links where they'll host like certain seasons of the ranked PvP will become sort of like the Kaiba Cup, basically, like how Duel Links has Kaiba Cups, basically, where every so often there's like this massive like event where you have to beat everybody else, and you go through qualifiers, and then there's higher and higher rounds of the Kaiba Cup. I assume they're gonna adapt that, and that might be in the event duels. You might not be wrong in that
I thought that
on
was
that
Battle
point
City.
at
I guess
all.
it's called Kaiba Cup. I also didn't get far far
Well, no,
in Duel Links because
battles.
Duel Links
Yeah,
sucked.
well, yeah, no. I mean, Battle City is a thing in the anime as well. You're not wrong, but Kaiba Cup is another thing that's in Duel Links exclusively, I think. Unless I've completely forgotten about the fact that there's another Kaiba Cup somewhere out there. I know that Kaiba hosted the Battle City, but I don't think it was exceptionally called the Kaiba Cup. I could be wrong though. Besides that, outside of that, there's also the solo mode, which is, I think, it's a kind of a cool thing. It allows people to learn the game a little bit more. It does become a little bit more difficult in the later stages, I will admit, because I genuinely struggled on some of the battles at later points against the AI, because the decks they give you are so finicky and so weird. I personally didn't know how to use some of the decks there, but honestly, it is really, really nice that they've added a solo mode where you can go out of your way to learn the game, because I think Konami finally understands their player base when it comes to this. Is that when they announced this game, they brought in a lot of original fans in, like a lot of the old fans that only watched the first Yu-Gi-Oh or even up to GX. They don't know what links are, pendulums are, or synchros are, or whatever, right? Even I'm personally was like, I don't know what pendulums still do to this point. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still baffled by what pendulums do. Links and XYZs and synchros, I have a much better grasp of now, especially with the help of the solo mode. But yeah, Choco, how do you feel about that solo mode? Has it helped you in any way?
I think it's cool. You can choose to bring any deck you want in the solo mode. You can just choose not to use theirs. So if you are struggling with the pre-made deck, you can bring your own if it's good. I think like my GeoPro deck can build your decks there, but I don't know. Solo mode is whatever. I just do it for the rewards, because when I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I want to play against other people, not bots, which is a big reason why I didn't care about Duel Links. Is it was condensed duels against real people, and the PvE I just didn't care.
Yep, that's fair. No, understandable. I agree with you to an extent. I still believe that the solo mode is a good way to kind of get a good grasp of the cards and the game itself.
Learn by getting your ass beaten ranked, dude. That's how you learn Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, there you go. He's not wrong as well there. To be honest, he's not wrong. I mean, you get a better idea of what your deck lacks, and if you are the one lacking as well. At the end of the day, when you do go up against other people in PvP and ranked, of course. Now let's talk about the big thing about this game, the pack opening. Choco, your thoughts, man. I want to see what you think first before I jump in and give my thoughts on the pack opening, because a lot of people have had their say, and I want to see what you think.
I think it's perfectly fine. I think the game isn't pay to win necessarily. I think pay to advance faster is definitely more acceptable, because you can craft everything with the crafted essences. Buy the battle pass for the in-game currency. You get a ton just by playing the game. You get a ton of crafting material from the battle pass. You get cards for just playing, and you can break them down. Your UR's summon rates seem pretty fine. So building like one or two really powerful decks that you feel comfortable with shouldn't really be an issue. That should be fairly easy to do within the first week. And really, for a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ranked, you don't need to be building like 10, 20 different decks. You only need to be building like maybe 3 to 5 at the most. And a couple of the, your 4th and 5th might be more meme decks, kind of like, Zodiac card draw type things, not real meta decks, which are going to contain a lot of URs. So I think it's really free-to-play friendly. Pack opening system looks really cool. Rates are fine. Crafting is definitely the saving grace of the game, I think.
Yep. Yeah, we can talk about that in just a second as well, the crafting system and how it exactly works, right? I think it's perfectly fine as well. I think it's a lot better than what I was thinking of initially. I thought they were just going to go down the Duel Links route, where it's going to be like, here are boxes, open them up until you get what you want. That's literally it. And it's like, that's no fun. It takes a lot of time, and it requires a lot of resets. I mean, I remember on Duel Links having to go go through an entire box, reset it, do another box, reset it, do another box. And instead, I think within the span of like a day, I've already managed to build one deck, and I'm already starting to build my second deck already from, I think it'll be today or tomorrow. I'm just saving up a couple of gems to be able to go through a couple of packs quickly in that regards, and be sure that I can get my secret pack unlock secured after that point, which is another thing. The secret pack system, I think, is impeccable in this game, because how it works is basically every time you summon and you get an SR or UR, if it does have a link to another secret pack, or a secret pack, it will unlock that secret pack for 24 hours, and it'll and that secret pack helps helps you get cards that are linked to the main card that you pulled originally, which I think is fantastic. You can also unlock those secret packs via crafting. So if you say want to craft Exodia, if you craft Exodia, the head of Exodia, which is an SR, it'll unlock the pack that'll take you directly to where you can get other Exodia support cards and even the god cards, because I think they're in the same pack basically, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that system is phenomenal. And well, speaking of crafting, I think it's a unbelievably good job that they've done there. It's crazy to see Konami be so generous, because what you just need is literally, if you need one UR, you dismantle 3 other URs you have, or maybe even less depending on if you dismantle a glossy finish card or a prismatic basically. You'll be able to get a free UR that way of your choice. It doesn't even have to be any other, it doesn't have to be between a limited amount or anything. You can literally search up the card you want and craft it, which is insane to me. Honestly, I think that's so good as well. And one more thing about the pack opening system as well that I don't know if people have noticed is that if in a 10 pack you don't get an you don't get a UR, sorry. If you don't get a UR in 10 packs, you are guaranteed a UR in the next 10 packs. So you are basically getting a pity system for one 10 pack basically. If you don't get a UR in one 10 pack, you'll get it in the next 10 pack, which is, I think, ridiculously good. Is there anything you would say is a drawback though, Troco? Anything you would say that could be improved?
Not really. Like, as it is right now, it's fine. Like, I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. Because you don't need to pull the card first to be able to craft it. If you had to pull the card to be able to craft it, then I think the game would probably pretty much be dead on arrival. But no, you can just craft anything you want, and I just don't have any issues with it from the summon and gacha aspect of it necessarily, so no.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, I think there's a very little for it to change in my opinion. If anything, I mean, honestly, I don't really think there is much. I mean, I guess if you really want to go that far, is obviously make secret packs unlimited. Once you open them forever. But I think it's fine the way it is, to be honest. It's not as if it's like impossible, because all you need to do is craft a card to unlock the secret pack you want. So it's really not that difficult, honestly. And not only that, let's talk about the battle pass as well, because if there's anything that's valuable in this whole game, it's that, bro. It is honestly so valuable, because you get so many crafting pieces. You get UR crafting pieces, SR crafting pieces. I think even the battle pass system is super well worth it. And the game asks you to put 600 gems into it to be able to buy the battle pass, but you get those 600 gems back from the battle pass as well. So it's just like super valuable anyways. Let's talk about the gameplay side of things actually now. Let's talk about the actual game. The duels, the battles we have with other people. And this is going to directly link to IRL Yu-Gi-Oh! Because from what I've been told and from what we've seen so far, is that it's a mirror image of how IRL Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. Of course, right now the meta is kind of like a bit all over the place, because right now the game is using a ban list from April 2021 mixed in with some OCG stuff. So it's not completely the most up-to-date IRL, meta that's going on right now. We're still waiting. At the time of recording, we still have a couple of days until possibly the new ban list comes out for 2022 in the real world, I suppose is the best way to put it. So we're going to have to wait and see if the game will adopt it. But Choco, how are you finding the gameplay? Is it any fun? Was it what you were expecting? You've come back after so long. Was it what you were expecting, or is it completely fresh?
It's mixed, because I think how long turns are, it's a big meme now, and people are saying it's how it is in real life. Not really. I played TCG for years, and only in tournaments. If you played like this at a local card store, nobody was playing with you. That's just how it was. Yeah. At the multiple card stores I played at, you could not be doing 10-minute turns with XYZs and link summons and all that shenanigans, nobody would play with you. So I hate it. Everybody I know hates it. That's why we didn't use those decks unless we were playing actual proper tournaments, in which then we allowed it. Because one thing too is some of these turns get really long because people are jumping in. They're going to like YGO Pro deck, being like, oh, what is the best deck in the game, building it, and then reading their cards in ranked. Learn your deck before playing, people. Please stop reading your cards as you play. That's very annoying. Because I find XYZ people and all that shenanigans. I got my ass beat every time because I had a basic Blue Eyes deck in real life, but they never took long to do their stuff. They would be like, all right, I do this, this, and this, and this, and it's like, yeah, I trust you. I know you're not going to try to cheat against me, so your turn goes by.
I know you know your
fast.
deck.
Yeah,
I hope you know your deck. Yeah, exactly.
They just look at their cards and they don't have to wait for resolves and anything. They just say, oh, I have these 3 cards. These will just all activate together, and it takes like a minute to, because again, it's just general trust. Like, hey, you're not gonna cheat and do something you can't. So I don't know. I get it. Some Yu-Gi-Oh duels in real life can take a while, but at the same time, no, people don't want to play with those people.
No, so yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, obviously, I'm running a DDD deck right now, which I don't know anything about, whereas I, obviously, Blackluster Soldier, which is going to be my second deck I build, I know a lot more about. So for me, I obviously looked at Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro initially, and then build the deck, so I know what it did, but obviously, I still needed to take a bit of a grasp while playing the game. So I'd skim through it, but it's not like I'm sitting there going through it like 2 to 3 times, right? Instead of just, you know, wasting the opponent's time and my time as well. I also feel the game has a little bit of a animation, it's a bit slow with the animations, not too slow, or not, but I can tell like they could probably pace it up a bit and nobody would bat an eye and nobody would have an issue with that at all. I think that's something that they should probably consider for a future update, is just pace up the animations just a teeny tiny bit, and that should be fine as well. On top of that, I would say one more thing that I feel like is a thing as well with this with modern day Yu-Gi-Oh is that the amount of things that are going on and stuff with the chain summoning and link summoning, it does feel quite daunting for any new player to jump in. It's again why I said like going into solo mode kind of actually helps, because you get an idea of like how the current meta is and stuff like that. On top of that, like I said, one more thing to note is that the ban list is coming soon, so things will change quite a bit and quite drastically even, I should say. So if you are planning on building decks in the future, or in the near future, I should say, in the next couple of days, I'd say probably wait for a little bit before you do decide to go off and build some decks, because things could change. You know, cards that you might want to summon for might be added to the ban list and stuff. So just be wary on that before you just jump straight right in as well. Anything you want to mention about the gameplay outside of what we just talked about, Choco?
Not really, but yeah, so I guess some of the animations are definitely adding to the length of the game, plus like connection and whatnot, because in solo mode it's super fast. Like you choose a card and it goes down instantly. In online there's like maybe usually a second of delay, but I mean yeah, they could make it a bit faster and snappy, but I think just my only real issue with the gameplay is how long turns are allowed to be. I think Hearthstone did it pretty well. I think it was like, what, a 2-minute timer, and the rope would start going down if you were doing nothing. Because, again, I'll have matches where people are sitting there for 3 minutes, placing nothing, doing no spells, activating nothing, just straight up reading their cards or going AFK. Like, if you're at least comboing me and you're you know, link summoning like 10 monsters, like, all right, at least you're doing something. So I think they could definitely shorten the timer. Actually, they put out a survey yesterday where that was one of the things, where it's like, are you satisfied with the length or are you dissatisfied? And I, of course, put a very dissatisfied. It's way too long.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I definitely understand that. And yeah, overall, it's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is now with the amount you do. It's just that players themselves need to kind of pace it up a bit. They need to put, even Konami probably should put a timer in that's a bit faster. Because it's just the pain seeing people go through like 50,000 cards, and it's just like, it's not even 50,000 cards. It takes them like 30 seconds to put down one card, and it's like, please pace up a bit. You know your cards. You've built this deck. Unless you literally just copied it and then just are like, okay, let me go and use this in PvP now. And it's just like, bro, learn your deck beforehand. I feel like we just sound so much like elitist right now, but it's true. You guys need to learn how to play the game. I can't be spending half an hour on one duel, man. I have other things to do in my day. But yeah, no, that's, I think, the main thing for the gameplay side of things. I think the overall gameplay as well, it's just so smooth as well. In terms of like the UI and being able to how move your decks around and build your decks, and it's super intuitive. I feel like it's very easy, very easy to navigate around and whatnot. How do you feel about the UI and like the deck crafting system and whatnot,
I think it's
Choco? How do
good,
you feel about it?
and I play on
Yep.
PlayStation, and it's been adapted like perfectly. I don't feel like any clunky controls. I've
Mhm.
played AAA games that have
Yeah.
infinitely more clunky controls, so no complaints.
Agree. Yeah, no, I'm on PC, of course. Choco's on PS. I might try it out on the Switch in the next couple of days as well, because I am going to be going on a bit of a I'm going on a vacation for a bit in I think 3 to 4 days. So maybe I'll probably take my Switch with me, and I'll probably download it on that and see how it works. Maybe and see if it'll see how it works, because I know some people have said that there's a slight bit of lag here and there in terms of the animations, but I've not heard anything bad about the Switch yet, which is a surprise considering all things said and done. It's the Switch. But no, even the PC is completely fine. I love the intuitiveness, I suppose is the best way to put it, and it's just so nice. It's so nice to operate. But I think with that, all the good stuff is out of the way. Let's talk about some negatives that could happen in the future. For me personally, I think the biggest concern I'm having right now is the gem input is phenomenal right now, right? It's unbelievably good that how much they're giving out. Even the missions have a lot. So I'm not too stressed about it, but at the same time, I can see a lot of people's concerns about the lack of gems coming in. It's why I'm hoping that these event duels are more so like events where gems are given out like on a bi-weekly basis or something, or every fortnight, effectively, kind of like how for example in other gacha games you have like story events and stuff like that, right? That's what I'm hoping event deals will end up being, so that there is a consistent flow of gems, maybe like 2000 per event or something. I don't know, something along those lines. And then of course you get missions and dailies and stuff, which will give you like 200 300 per day basically, or something like that, maybe if you're lucky. And then PvP obviously gives a decent chunk as well. What about you, Choco? What are your concerns for this game in the future?
Actually, not a ton. I think yeah, gem
Mhm.
like slowdown will be inevitably be a thing in any game. Really,
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be that big of an issue. Like, just be smart, build only a few decks. Don't buy every card because it looks cool or has high attack and whatnot. And you'll be perfectly fine. You get
Yep.
pretty much unlimited cards from PvP. Just win a duel and you get card packs or actual cards, and you can dismantle because of the crafting system. I don't think the gem issue will be a thing. Plus, you have the battle pass, which you should pick up all the time. Log in and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue, but there will be a slowdown eventually where you can't build a new deck every day type thing. But
Yep.
yeah, as long as you just choose to focus on 2-3 decks for the first month, and again, really like that's all you need in Yu-Gi-Oh. You don't need like 10 different decks. You only need like 2 or 3. That's so yeah. I think the game.
Agreed.
I don't see any big red flags for the future, and the player base seems really
Mhm.
strong. It hasn't like turned people off immediately. Like Duel Links was pretty like a lot of
it,
people are
it,
turned
it
off
was
from Duel
very
Links,
back and
myself
forth. Yeah.
included.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
see
Duel Links
anything
was
like
very
that.
back and forth. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I think Duel Links was very much like, oh, I want to hop back in, but then I remember the bad things about the game, and I'm like, never mind, kind of thing, right? Yeah, it happens a lot with the fan base, and I'm seeing a lot more people being like, holy, actually, it's actually good. I know it was, I think it was Zenrado who tweeted out saying, I cannot play 2 games. I cannot play 2 Konami card games or monetized card games anymore. But then he obviously was like, holy shit, it's actually kind of really good. Master Duel is so good. And it's been super free to play. Like I said, there was only one time that I wanted to actually invest into the game. But even then, I was like, let me wait for a second. Let me see how the rest of the game is. And let me see what I can get from, the missions and stuff like that. And then decide. And was it a good decision? Because I didn't have to spend a dime on my first deck, and I probably won't have to spend a dime on my second deck either, honestly. So yeah, it's honestly so good in that regards. But any final thoughts from you, Choco, before we wrap up the video?
Nope. Yu-Gi-Oh is gaming.
Yu-Gi-Oh is very, very gaming. All right, now you guys have a good one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what are your thoughts on Master Duel if you've been playing it. What decks are you running? It'll be very interesting to see what you guys are running. Please just don't let it be Odd Eyes or Sky Strikers. I've seen a lot of that already in my life, and I don't want to see any more of that on the channel. But hopefully you guys have a good day. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, everybody. Bye bye.